Right lads, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to eat out and get shredded. And for those of you knobheads who are going to sit there and say, "But Harry, that's not possible," it fucking well is, mate, because I'm literally living proof of it. If you didn't already know, even though you should definitely already know because it was literally my last YouTube video, and if you haven't already, go and watch that YouTube video. I'm currently on photo shoot prep. I'm just over 7 weeks in and I'm 7.5 kilos down. And every single week without fail, me and my girlfriend have been going out to our favorite restaurants, we've been having lunches out, and we've been dabbling in sweet treats. You name it, I've probably eaten it. And I did the exact same thing last year for another photo shoot I did where I got myself in unbelievable shape without sounding like a self-obsessed wanker. And once again, throughout the entire process, was still eating all of my favorite foods. And in case you didn't already know, yes, this is literally my job. It's my entire career, and I have helped hundreds upon hundreds of lads do the exact same thing. So I like to think I know what the fuck I'm on about at this point. Now I get, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, okay, what's the catch? And you're absolutely right, because there is one. You need to know how to do this properly. And unfortunately, this is what 99% of shitty fitness coaches on social media will not tell you. They will just mention that
you can eat whatever you want and get in fantastic shape, bro.
But in reality, they're hiding a lot of truths from you, so they're telling you basically what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. But luckily for you, I'm going to break down absolutely everything in this video so you can take this information away and implement it yourself. So without further ado, let's crack on with the video. I'm going to make this video super simple. I'm going to break it down into 4 different parts. And the first thing that we're going to go over is calorie banking. Now, calorie banking is basically what it says it is on the tin. You bank calories, right? So when you go out for food or for drinks or whatever the fuck it is you do with your spare time, you have calories in the bank that you can then use up, right? So a great example of this, let's say you want to go out on Saturday night, all right? You and your mates, you want to go out, you want to go for some food, you want to go for some drinks, you want to hit the dance floor, please excuse the terrible dancing, but you want to have a good time, but you don't want to ruin your progress. What you would do, right, rather than eating your normal amount of calories just Monday all the way through till Friday and then ruining it all on Saturday and then starting again on Monday, which let's face it is what 99% of people actually end up doing, you plan ahead and you bank calories. So let's say for argument's sake you're on 2,200 calories per day, okay? That's your calorie target that you've worked out you need to be eating every single day to lose weight. Well, rather than eating 2,200 calories on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc., bank the calories. So you would take off as many as you want realistically, but a sensible range would be 200 to 300 calories every single day, Monday through to Friday. So again, a good example would be 2,000 calories, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then when it comes to the Saturday, you'd have a smaller breakfast, a slightly smaller lunch, and then you can go out Saturday evening and you've banked calories. Because remember, you don't lose body fat and gain body fat over a period of 1 or 2 days. It typically happens over the period of a week. So as long as you're in your total calories by the end of the week, you should be absolutely fine. Now let's just use that example of banking 200 calories every single day in the days leading up to that Saturday night out, and then again on the Saturday morning you have a slightly smaller breakfast, Saturday afternoon you have a slightly smaller lunch. You're going to have at least 1,500 calories to play with come Saturday night, which again makes going over your total calories for that week a lot more difficult. Realistically, 1,500 calories on top of your normal Saturday evening calorie consumption anyway, which let's face it is probably around about 1,000 calories, about 2,500 calories. That's a nice meal out, a few drinks, some dessert. It's a pretty decent evening. And let's just say you absolutely sent it and still went over your calories. Well, the odds are you wouldn't go over your calories by much. And at that point, like I said, probably wouldn't really impact any long-term progress anyway. So it's a really, really smart and really sensible way of doing things. And I get that there'll be people watching this thinking, oh God, but that means Monday through to Friday, I'm going to be really hungry. Well, yeah, you're going to be a bit hungrier, but unfortunately, that's the trade-off, right? That's like signing up for a marathon and then complaining about having to run more. Unfortunately, if you do want to lose body fat, you are going to have to make sacrifices. And one of them, from time to time, will be planning for social occasions appropriately and actually being a little bit hungry. All right, the second thing that I want to speak about, and something which you absolutely, without question, need to be doing if you want to eat out, drink alcohol, have some sweet treats, and make progress, you need to be nailing your lifestyle markers. Now, lifestyle markers are arguably the most overlooked part of anybody's fitness journey. Everybody just thinks that it comes down to your training, what you do in the gym, how long you're in the gym for, what exercises you're doing, or your nutrition, you know, how many calories you can bank before that meal out, or how much protein you eat on a given day. But in reality, a huge chunk of your fitness journey is comprised of just nailing the simple stuff. I'm talking about your sleep, your water, your steps, any excess cardio that you've got in there as well. You've got to be fucking consistent with these if you are expecting to still get results whilst giving yourself that little bit of flexibility with your diet. Now, general rule of thumb for most lads, obviously it's going to vary from person to person depending on what you get up to in your life, but for most guys, you should be aiming for around 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Again, it's not just going to help you to not be a zombie the following day, but it's going to really help with things like testosterone production. And again, it's in my opinion the easiest way to boost your testosterone level, which in the long run will help you build more muscle and help you lose more body fat. When it comes to your water intake, most guys massively underestimate how much water they should actually be drinking on a day-to-day basis. If you're drinking anything less than 2.5 to 3 litres of water per day, you need to pick it up a notch. And bonus points if you supplement with electrolytes as well. And just on that point, don't fall for any of these fucking scammy, really expensive electrolyte supplements that you probably see plastered all over Instagram. Realistically, your Boot Zone or Super Drug Zone electrolyte mix that you put in your drink is going to do the exact same thing, and it's also going to cost you like £2, right? Thirdly, when it comes to your steps, the amount of conversations I've had with guys who tell me, oh, I just can't get my steps and I don't have enough time. Yeah, you fucking do, mate. Like, realistically, you can't want to lose weight and get in unbelievable shape that badly if you can't dedicate an extra 10 or 15 or 20 minutes every single day to just walking a little bit more. I'm not asking you to fucking hike up Kilimanjaro, as my client Scott did. What I'm asking you to do is just move more, increase your baseline expenditure. Again, these are the basics, the things that you need to be nailing if you want to give yourself that flexibility and if you're actually expecting to make progress whilst eating out, drinking alcohol, having sweet treats. This is the fundamentals, the stuff that we should absolutely not be missing. Point number 3, and this one is going to piss a lot of people off because it's controversial, but I don't actually understand why, because it is literally something that I do before I go to any restaurant anyway, whether I'm dieting or not, and that is just read the fucking menu. Now, number 1, I have to read the menu before I go to a restaurant to actually determine whether I like the food and if I want to go to the restaurant or not. But number 2, it allows me to gain an understanding in terms of what it is I want to order. The reason why this is so beneficial, number 1, it prevents me having eyes bigger than my belly, so I don't turn up to the restaurant and order 2 or 3 different things that I didn't actually want in the first place and then going over my calories unnecessarily. And number 2, it removes decision fatigue. It's a horrible position turning up to a restaurant, all eyes are on you and you feel forced to order a certain item because maybe somebody else has, or quite frankly because you just cannot decide. So I will always read the menu, and then 90% of the time try and make a smart decision while I'm there as well. Now, usually what that means is something that's got a decent amount of protein in it, and more often than not I'll order a side of veg with it as well to pack out my food. It's going to keep me a little bit fuller, but it's also going to keep calories relatively low. Now, fortunately, none of my one-to-one clients actually have to worry about doing this because I will read the menus for them. They tell me they're going out at the weekend. I will already adjust their calories to account for it. I will also read the menu. So again, they tell me where they're going. I'll circle the smart options on that menu. So all they have to do is pick from the items that have been circled. It's quick, it's convenient, and it takes away all the guesswork for them. And finally, point number 4, ignore the pan in the sink, by the way. Haven't quite got around to washing that up yet, and I just can't be bothered to right now, so we're just gonna leave it there. But point number 4, this is less about something that you need to do, more about something you need to understand, and that is water retention. Your scale weight is gonna fluctuate. It's gonna move around a fuck ton, all right? And one of the biggest factors that's gonna determine how it moves is your water retention. Now, your body will naturally hold on to more water when you have an increase in both carbs and sodium. And unfortunately, I'd say 90% of the foods that you're gonna get out at cafes and restaurants are gonna be higher in carbohydrates, and you guessed it, they're gonna be higher in sodium. So even if you do all of the previous things that we've spoken about absolutely perfectly, and you hit the nail on the head, and you calorie bank, and you make smart choices, and you make sure you're nice and hydrated, and you get your steps done, you get your training sessions done, all the rest of it, right? You're still in your calories for the week. You're still probably going to hold on to a little bit of excess water, which means let's say you do go out on Saturday night, this mystical Saturday night out that keeps cropping up throughout this video. You go out on Saturday night, you enjoy yourself. If you then jump on the scale on Sunday and maybe even Monday morning, you are probably going to appear a little bit heavier than what you actually are, because again, you're holding on to more water. This is where a lot of lads get it twisted, and they think that, they eat a certain food or they go out for a meal out and then they immediately gain loads of body fat on the back end of it. It's not the case. It's not body fat that you've gained overnight, it's water that you're holding on to. And the beauty of it is that water will just flush its way through over the next few days. As soon as you get back into regular training, and regular nutritional habits. Around 1 gram of carbs is equal to around 3 to 4 grams of water retention. So you can quite easily see if you maybe have an extra couple of 100 grams of carbohydrates on a night out, how your scale weight is going to skyrocket upwards, giving you the illusion that you've gained body fat overnight. But it's important that you understand that, because if you don't, that's where you then become emotionally invested in the scales. And as I've said, what a lot of lads do is they'll go out on a Saturday night, weigh in on the Sunday, they're a little bit heavier, and they then form, okay, a direct correlation between the Saturday night out and the increase in scale weight that they've seen, and just assume that they now have to cut that Saturday night out of their life entirely. You don't. You just need to navigate it correctly and then understand what's actually caused that increase in scale weight. Because if you've done all of the previous things as we've spoken about correctly, 99% of the time, it's not going to be body fat. It's going to be excess water that's making you appear slightly heavier. So there we have it, gents. Hopefully you have learned something from this video. That'd be fucking good, wouldn't it? At least it means the last 10 or 15 minutes of me rambling on at you has actually been worthwhile. I hope that above all else, right, what you've taken away from this video is, number one, you can absolutely still eat out, enjoy your favorite foods, and get in incredible shape. But number two, if you want to do that, you need to structure it correctly, and not to believe all of these fucking wankers on social media and the internet that are just going to sell you the dream and tell you that you can do whatever you want and basically make fuck all change to what you're currently doing and still expect to make incredible progress, because obviously that's not true. Just use your head, right? You've got to learn how to structure things correctly, which hopefully you now know how to do just that little bit better. If you have learned something and you found this valuable, leave this video a like. It will let me know that you've actually gained something from it. And secondly, if you aren't already, subscribe, because weekly videos, chaps, weekly videos, insights into what the fuck I get up to, and little educational snippets like this as well. But I will see you in the next one.